Good morning and welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I'm Razzle11 and you can find me on X at Razzle11Grinds. Going to take a look at pitching for today, the 8th of June. It is Sunday. We do have a 9-game main slate ahead of us. We do have some weather concerns, not a lot to be overly worried about other than the Philly and Pitt game, which is annoying because the two best options on this slate are in that game, so that sounds like a blast. With that said, this is a first look at the pitching options on the slate. I will be utilizing DraftKings as that is where a majority of my action is. If you do play on FanDuel, I would cut my pool in half or so. You don't have to be as creative. Pricing isn't quite as tight. It allows you to get the stacks you want with an upper tier-ish pitcher. So with all that said and done, let's just jump right in. We're a little over 2.5 hours away from the slate. A little late start on the video this morning. So let's jump into the actual games. Freddie Peralta should be starting. Most places have him listed as a starter. The DK odds lines has Savali, but it does give Peralta a K prop. So I'm going to go with Peralta as the starter. DK might be a little drunk yet on a Sunday morning. Peralta, walks have been an issue, and that's dangerous. Home runs can happen, etc. Strikeouts are kind of all over the place. San Diego doesn't strike out all that much. With that said, his K-Prop 5.5 juice on the over, which is tied for the second best K-Prop behind Paul Skeens. Plus 130 to earn the W, which puts him second right now. We don't have any win odds for that Philly Pitt game, so that's interesting. But yeah, it puts Peralta second behind Zach Gallen on the slate. In other words, this slate pitching is not the greatest overall. But Peralta's certainly going to be in play for me, but there's a lot of volatility to him. Texas, Washington, no interest in either side. Texas looks to be going with a bullpen game, and I'm just not really taking Trevor Williams, even though Texas' offense has been pretty rough. Williams' best start this year is less than 20 fantasy points. Did come recently, but still, I think I will happily look the other way. Philly, Pitt, the aforementioned rain scenario. If the game starts on time, I think we're decent for pitching. There could be a mid-game or later game delay, from my understanding. If they do decide to delay the start, we might be looking at a lengthy delay, but they still could play this evening. So something to pay attention to, but Paul Skeens, obviously, Skeens, strong name, does not have a double-digit strikeout performance on the season, but his last 4 starts have been sensational from a fantasy points perspective, allowing just 1 run or fewer in each of the last 5 starts, 2 runs or fewer in all but 2 starts this season, which makes 11 of 13. Strikeouts have been stronger over the last 4 starts as well. Just tough to not play Paul Skeens. Game total of 6.5 in this one. The Pirates are minus 115 favorites, which they aren't favorited very often. Obviously, price tag, a little annoying, but still. Easily the top ceiling guy on this slate. Christopher Sanchez on the other side. Walks have been up. Strikeouts kind of sporadic and trending down. Had a massive start earlier this season. Show us the upside. A ton of hype coming out of spring training for Sanchez. Now he faces a Pirates squad that, for the longest time, basically had the fewest runs in baseball. Now I'm curious, so I'm going to look on my other monitor. But Sanchez, 5.5 on the K-Prop. It's basically a pick'em. So he is sitting with the 5th best K-Prop on this slate. Pirates run scored. They have finally moved ahead of the Rockies. Second fewest total runs on the season in baseball for the Pirates. So Christopher Sanchez definitely going to be in play. I would love to see the win odds prop for these pitchers, but generally what DK does with some weather scenarios, they don't really put win odds props out for those pitchers. Arizona, Cincinnati. I don't think I want to use Singer, a right-hander against Arizona. He hasn't been great, actually, since early in the season, so I will gladly pass on him. Walks nearly matching his strikeout numbers over the last month. Zach Gallen, somebody who's looked pretty bad much of the year, but he's coming off of a strong start against Atlanta. Could have been an even better start without some defensive issues. Strikeouts just haven't been there, which is a worry. But the big thing for me is the Cincinnati squad has seen him somewhat, I think, around 60 plate appearances against him, and they have just 4 hits. It's an interesting number, and like I mentioned, he's plus 125 to earn the W, which is the best number on the slate, despite having thrown the ball pretty terribly for a large stretch. But he still has massive upside. Look at how he absolutely dominated the Yankees. He absolutely dominated the Mets in back-to-back starts as well. This guy can still get it done. We're just looking for a little bit more consistency. Sitting with a K-prop of 5.5 juice to the over, so he's tied with a few other guys for the second best K-prop on this slate. So I will be utilizing Zach Gallen, and I'm going to take that risk even in that ballpark. Cleveland, Houston, I think this is a pretty good pitcher spot. Tanner Bybee hasn't looked great the last couple, but he's capable of putting up ridiculously strong performances. The one issue, obviously, he's similar to Gavin Williams, not as extreme, a reverse splits pitcher taking on a right-hand heavy Houston squad. So there is some volatility to him. K-prop of 5.5 juice to the under. His game total is 7.5. Juiced over, but it is the second lowest total on the slate behind the Pitt Philly matchup. Neither pitcher has win odds prop right now, probably weather related again. Brandon Walter, if I remember correctly, previously in the majors with Boston, was not good. Came up, made a start against Tampa Bay, who we pick on with left-handed pitching, and was very strong. Looks like he went down to the minors after that and has thrown the ball really well. So, do we want to use him? I don't love using him. His K-prop's 3.5 juice to the over. But I think it's a decent spot. Cleveland, not the best overall. Jose Ramirez doing what he does and crushing left-handed pitching. But aside from that, like, nobody's really stepped up against left-handed pitching. I think Walter could provide just enough. If I do need to remove somebody from my pool, Walter would be the first guy that I would drop down to maybe get to 7 or 8 guys today. The Cubs and Tigers. Flaherty versus Horton. Flaherty is going to be in play for me because he does offer upside. There's volatility. I mean, he gave up 4 home runs to Texas a month ago. We know that the Cubs have a dangerous lineup, but Peralta, one of the better real-life pitchers on this slate. Plus 155 to earn the W, which is right behind like Joe Ryan, right behind Lorenzen. Decent number on this particular slate. K-prop of 5.5 juice to the over. So there should be some case, obviously volatility with that lineup. Cade Horton was a name I was going to consider. Just a strong prospect, but he just hasn't shown it at the major league level. Like, his best starts have come against Miami, Colorado, Washington. I mean, he was solid against the Mets, but still, 3 runs allowed in 3 out of his 5 starts. Just 5 or more Ks in 2 out of the 5. I think we can pass on Horton. His K-prop's 4.5 juice to the under. It's not a whole lot to like, other than the fact that this game is somewhat close. Flaherty and the Tigers are minus 126 favorites. Let's put the Cubs at plus 104 underdogs. So that's what initially had me write down Cade Horton, but when you look into the rest of the numbers, he's just not going to make it for me. Lorenzen is taking on the White Sox, so I think that's just automatically going to put him in play for people. His last 2 starts have been horrendous. Could he straighten it out against the White Sox? Definitely. Had a great start against Boston, strong against Colorado, which, I mean, it's Colorado, so whatever. But I don't love it, but he might make my pool. His K-prop's just 4.5, juiced to the under, so that number doesn't sound great. Game total's 9, juiced under, which is like the 3rd highest on this slate, roughly. But he's plus 145 during the W, which of the win odds props that are posted, it's the 3rd best, or 3rd most likely to earn the W. So there are things that point to him, and then other things where I'm just like, I don't think I want to go there. Right now, I would put him in my pool, but he and Walter have to be battling for wanting to be pulled out of my pool, and maybe I should just get rid of them both and not worry about it. Mike Vassell, his overall numbers are strong, gives up a ton of stolen bases, is pitching on 3 days rest after going 3 2/3. Like, I would guess that he's, 40 to 50 pitches again. So if anybody asks me about him, I just don't expect him to go deep enough. Toronto, Minnesota. Bowden Francis, obviously a guy we used a lot early in the season, but his home runs have kicked in. And Minnesota has some left-handed bats that with some power. I'm just not going to Francis. I did write him down, but he's plus 275 to earn the W. K-prop of 4.5, juice to the under. On the other side, Joe Ryan. Priced up a little bit, but we kind of needed pricing adjustments for this slate. The Twins are the largest favorite the last I looked at, minus 180. Ryan's K-prop at 5.5, juice to the under, so he's tied with Bybee in that number, but he's plus 150 to earn the W, which is better than Flaherty and right behind Lorenzen. Coming off of a rough start, but he had been really, really strong for a while. Even better when pitching at home, where he's at today. A lot of his numbers just jump up when pitching at home, so we have to like him. Toronto doesn't strike out a ton, which is annoying, but still, this slate, I think Joe Ryan has what it takes to be the highest scorer, potentially. Last game, Dodgers and Cardinals. Just can't play Kershaw. As a baseball fan and everything, I want him to finish out his career strongly. So I want to see some strong performances. Just can't do it. He's just allowing so many base runners. St. Louis doesn't really strike out all that much either, so gonna have to pass there. McGreevy, one guy that the Cardinals should just have in the rotation. His small sample last year was just phenomenal. One start this year and dominated against the Mets. He's a strong prospect, and I think he should be at the major league level. With that said, this game is sitting with a total of 9, juiced over. The Dodgers are favorites. McGreevy's plus 285 during the W. I just don't think we can go there. But I really want to see how he performs against the Dodgers. If somebody sprinkled in McGreevy, I guess I wouldn't blame you just because he's shown so well at the major league level. But again, do we want to take basically a rookie pitcher against this Dodgers lineup? Especially a right-handed pitcher? I'm not sure that we do. But there we have it. There's our first look at the pitching options. If you enjoy what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, get the alert anytime we drop videos here at DFS Army. And if you want to join us, get access to our coaches, tools, sheets, Discord, etc. I will put links in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, that's R-A-Z, for 10% off monthly. And as always, best of luck, everybody.